Energy. Energy. 3, 2, 1. What if I told you there's a light pill? What's up, everyone? It's America Plus. I'm your host, Cole McCormick. It's another week, another episode. What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday, 5:03, April 13th, 5:03 in the PM. What's going on, everybody? Happy to be here. It's a beautiful day to be alive, folks. I am super happy to be streaming live once again in the modern podcast apps. I'm live on X. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live in Fountain.fm. I'm live in Podcast Guru, Cast-O-Matic, all the modern podcasting 2.0 apps. Get here. I'm streaming live every Sunday in the afternoon. It's a beautiful time to be alive, man. I'm happy to be here, and I'm in good moods. What have I done this week? I've just been working and cleaning and just being a responsible adult, and I'm just coming to you in good vibes. I didn't work out today, but I worked out like 2 days ago, and so I'm still like on that. I deadlifted like a lot. I deadlifted like a good amount of sets a few days ago, and so I'm still feeling that in my hamstrings. So that's the kind of mood I'm in. I might work out later tonight. We'll see about that. Maybe that's before or after dinner. I don't know. But yeah, I'm in a good mood today. I'm very happy to be here at America Plus, and I just feel blessed right now, dude. And I have something really important to talk about. This topic today. So what I want to bring forward today is something that sort of dawned on me this past week, and it's something that I think is it's one of those things that's radically important, but also something that like I think a lot of people will just ignore. I hope you don't ignore it, but maybe it will happen. So pretty much I am bringing forward something new to the table within the cultural conversation of how to observe and interact in the world, okay? So throughout since 99, okay, since 1999, we've had the Matrix, and we've had this concept of the blue pill and the red pill, okay? And as time has moved on, that concept has become more and more prevalent and relevant, and it's used on so many different fields, like fields of like reality. You know, like the people on the right, they want to use the red pill because Republicans and like the Democrats are the blue pill. I'm wearing a blue shirt today. It doesn't really mean anything. I just like the color blue. But it's been very important, right? And then you got these other things called like the black pill, and that's like a nihilistic thing. The black pill is like the black pill is like you got red pilled, and then you started like researching even more and more conspiracy theories, and then you're just like super nihilistic. The black pill is like the worst type of pill to have, in my opinion, because a lot of like I mean, I'm just gonna say it. A lot of like anti-Jewish people are black pilled. A lot of UFO people are black pilled. A lot of if you are involved in the conspiracy realm, you might be black pilled in some shape or form. Not to say that all conspiracies are bad. I'm a conspiracy theorist on some level, but what I'm saying is like it's nihilistic. There's things that are not healthy. There's types of conversations online that are not healthy for everyone. And I'm trying to bring forward a better, more healthy version, a more healthy pill to swallow. And the reason why there's all these pills, like in the first place, the reason why we have any type of conversation around this is because of the stress of life, the stress of Earth, and just like life's common dramas, like if you're blue pilled, you're sort of like ignorant, you're sort of not paying attention. You're going with the flow of society. You're just not really trying to combat anything in your life. You're sort of accepting everything that's coming at you, and you're sort of reactive when it comes to these issues in your life, whether it be finances or how society works. You're just accepting these things, and you're not really doing any research to better yourself. The red pill, that's like the other side of that. You think you're awake, you think you're woke on some level. You think you're able to engage in the world a bit better. And we have all these scenes of Keanu Reeves, just like doing all this kung fu, fighting all the agents of the Matrix. And that's a very entertaining view to have. And then you got all these other pills, you know. You also have like if you're a Bitcoiner, you got the orange pill. Have you been orange pilled yet? And once you see the world through the lens of Bitcoin, then you are orange pilled and everything is brighter and healthier and so much better. And then you got the Nostra pill, which is purple. You got the purple pill, which is super random. Have you been purple pilled yet on the decentralized social media known as Nostr? And you have all these different things. And I've come to a conclusion that a lot of these pills, a lot of these viewpoints, while they might be helpful in some aspects of life, they're not objectively helpful for your life. Even though I might use Bitcoin, I might believe in Bitcoin, I might have voted for Trump, I might think that I am more awake than others. There's aspects to these narratives that are not entirely useful and true. And what I think needs to happen is that there needs to be a better thing. There needs to be a better idea to approach your life and to approach the stress of your life, you know? And that idea, this is something that I think we should call the light pill. Whoops, hang on. Hang on, I'll do that again. We're calling it the light pill. The light pill is very interesting. Now, the light pill, this is not a quick fix, okay? And I think that's like a juxtaposition to these other pills, because the orange pills and the red pills, they're going to say that their way of life is the best way to approach it. And it is like a one size fits all thing. And I don't think that's like true or accurate to a certain perspective. The light pill is not an easy fix. It's not a quick fix to your life. What the light pill really is, and what I'm trying to bring forward, is a seed of curiosity and hope for your life. That is what is really going on. That's what needs to happen. A seed of curiosity and hope. And if you can sort of imagine like this, like something glowing, right? Like what does the light seed look like? Imagine imagine like something glowing within you, okay? And this thing that's glowing within you is like, it's the best aspects of yourself. It's the best version of yourself. It's the best aspects of your personality and what you bring to the table. The light pill is you making the active choice to go within yourself and to calm yourself down and to do what is right and to do what is necessary to you know to just seek that better version of yourself. And I guess like this is sort of going within like the religious things, like this is sort of aligned with some religious aspects, but I'm not trying to be religious or follow any sort of doctrine, because what I think is we're in a moment in time where we need to refine. Humans need to refine their spirituality. Humans need to refine what they really believe in. And this is me trying to refine that. You know, the light pill is me trying to look at what I grew up with from my own life, look at what's available and what I've been interested in and what's been resonating with me when it comes to these other ideas, you know, like figures. So on like the list of people that I listen to, right? It's like the words of Jesus, like the literal teachings of Jesus, the red words in the Bible, Joe Dispenza, Buddha, and Greg Braden. You know, like those are like the four main guys that I'm like reading about, researching, thinking about. I'm trying to absorb their information. And I'm trying to like, there has to be this like this pull. There has to be this coming together of the best versions of all these beliefs, and we just thrive from them. We imagine a life, imagine an earth where we're only using the most useful aspects of ourselves and spirit. You know what I mean? Like, imagine not going to war for your religion. Imagine not feeling despair every time you watch the news. Okay. I think everything is spiritual. Everything is spirit, right? And so this is just how I'm seeing the world. This is what I'm trying to express. And I have a question for you. So if you could just take a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you felt a spark of something lighter within yourself? This is something really important to think about. When was the last time you felt a spark of something lighter? Okay. This is what the light pill can bring you. When you're feeling stressed, when you're watching the news, when you're looking at all the headlines, when you're doom scrolling or just general scrolling, when you're on Instagram and you're looking at the titties, when you're on Twitter and you're looking at all the political stuff, when you're like, whatever you're doing, you know, you there's something like getting darker, like the walls are closing in when you're stressing yourself out and when you're um what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you're overdosing on dopamine. Like that's what's really going on. It's not that everything is like cynical and bad and evil. It's that we're in a position where we're stressed and we are also overdosing on dopamine. And we need to figure out a way to calm ourselves down, people. We need to calm ourselves down. And I believe this concept of a light pill can be that answer. It can be a part of that answer. And I guess I'm really pointing towards emotional well-being. I've said some spiritual things, but this is also emotional, and emotions are a lot more practical for people. The emotional well-being of yourself, in my opinion, I think it's completely within your hands. I think you can control that. I think you can, whatever trauma you've been through, whatever hardship, whatever your life has been, I believe that you have control over your emotions right now. Like in this literal moment, you have control over how you feel right now. And the emotions that you choose to feel in every moment sort of determines your life. And that sort of determines how you think and how you see the situations in front of you. And this is really important. If humans were to continue to go down a path of being stressed and overdosing on dopamine and not really trying to engage within a better world or try to make themselves better, then, the world will go to shit. Robots will take over. We will become we will become copperheads, just like sacks of flesh and electricity giving energy to the machines. And this is no good. That's not what should be. We are so much more than that. Humans are so much more than that. And so pretty much the light pill, imagine the light pill as a glowing seed within you. It can be your chest, it can be your mind. It's just it's this glowing thing. It's the best aspect of yourselves. Um and when I think about this, so I mentioned Joe Dispenza and Buddha and Jesus and a few other people. So pretty much when I think about like Joe Dispenza, okay, Joe Dispenza, he talks about rewiring your neurons, change your thoughts to change your life. Okay, there's a lot of people who have benefited from this type of mindset, and I think it's real. I think the teachings that Joe Dispenza has brought forward and the research he's brought forward has helped me deal with my trauma, deal with the death of my dad. You know, I was doing Joe Dispenza meditations a little bit before my dad got diagnosed with cancer, and I had some success. And then I stopped for a while, but then it wasn't until like deep into the cancer diagnosis when I really started to do it again, or I started to like I tweaked it a little bit. I tweaked the meditations for my own life, and I started to feel a lot different. Like my emotions were feeling different, and I was feeling more control over my thoughts. I was having more agency over how I felt throughout the day and at work, and that was a really big deal for me. And then I think about Jesus. I'm going to read a little bit from Jesus here in a minute. But pretty much like just don't focus on the doctrine of Christianity. Focus on the red words. Like focus on the quotes from Jesus. Focus on what Jesus actually taught. I think a lot of people would be in agreement that, what Jesus was teaching is a lot more like universally applicable to all humans than any sort of Christian doctrine. So I encourage you to just be curious about what Jesus taught, and maybe there's a way that those teachings can help you. Pretty much what I'm saying is that we're seeds, right? Like we're all seeds. and everyone has the capability to hold on to certain ideals. Okay. And if you're red pilled, you have a certain amount of ideals. If you're black pilled, you have a certain type of ideals within you. If you're blue pilled, same thing. Okay. But with the light pill, what types of narratives and what types of thoughts are guiding you when you are holding on to the light pill? And so, what I want to do now is I want to read a parable from the Bible. I want to read something that Jesus said. This is a story or some sort of narrativistic analogy that Jesus had when he was around. So this is the parable of the seed or the parable of the sower. Okay, this is in the Bible. This is in the book of Mark, chapter 4. If you want to read it yourself. But this is one of those things that is very applicable to everyone's life. So if you'll just listen to this. So Jesus, he's standing on a boat, right? And he's like talking to a bunch of people. And this is what Jesus has to say to all of them. Jesus says, "Listen, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow, but when the sun came up, the plants scorched and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants so that they did not bear grain. Still, other seed fell on good soil. It came up, grew, and produced a crop, some multiplying 30, some 60, some 100 times." And then Jesus said, "Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear." Later on in the story, the Bible says when he was alone with the 12 disciples and the others around him, asked him about the parables. He told all of them, "The secret of the kingdom of God has been given to you." Don't you know this? The secret of the kingdom of God has been given to you. But to those on the outside, everything is said in parables, so that they may be ever seeing but never perceiving, and ever hearing but never understanding. Otherwise, they might turn and be forgiven. Then Jesus said to them, "Don't you understand this parable? How then will you understand any parable? The farmer sows the word or truth. The farmer sows the truth. Some people are like seed among the path, where the truth is sown. As soon as they hear it, Satan comes and takes away the truth that was sown in them. Others, like seed sown on rocky places, hear the word and at once receive it with joy, but since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the truth, they quickly fall away. When others, like seeds sown among thorns, hear the truth, but the worries of this life, the deceitfulness of wealth, and the desires of other things come in and choke the truth, making it unfruitful. Others, like seeds sown on good soil, hear the truth, accept it, and produce a crop, some 30, some 60, some 100 times what was sown. And that's Jesus, dude. That's Jesus. That's a really interesting parable. That's something I grew up hearing that, and that's always been a story that's resonated with me. I think it's a very simple understanding of how people can hear something that is truthful, and depending on where they're at in life, determines on how far that truth goes within their lives. You know, let's take health for an example. A lot of people will hear the truth that weightlifting is healthy for them, that eating whole foods is better for their immune system. And some of them might be so unhealthy that they'll hear that truth and it just won't go anywhere. Other people, they're struggling in their life, maybe they're open to it. They'll hear it and they'll get really excited about it and really hyped up about it, and maybe they'll even go for it and try to be healthy and try to just do everything they can. But because they haven't established a firm foundation of a healthy life, the truth of the healthy practices doesn't really set forth. It doesn't hold well, and they lose their way, and they stop being consistent. But then there's other people who understand that a healthy life is every single day. It's small choices every single day. And when they hear the truth of something, they have a foundation to incorporate that in small ways in their life. So, like maybe you're already healthy and maybe you like going on walks, and then you hear new information about weightlifting, and you already have a consistency of walking, and now you want to slowly implement weightlifting into your health routine. It's because that you were consistent with the walking, you were able to slowly implement the truth of weightlifting into your life. And then the little by little weightlifting that happens, the stronger you get. And therefore, like, that was proof that you had a pre-existing foundation to accept the truth into your life. And you were able to get stronger, and you're able to grow muscle. And this is a really important thing for humans right now. Um, you are soil, and you're able to hold seed, and the seeds are like just simple ideas, you know. And within this era of the matrix, within this era of 2025, and everything just going crazy, it seems like some things are okay, but some things are really going haywire. Um, the ideas that are swirling around you and growing within you, these are the things that really matter. And you need to make an active choice to, I guess, control them. I don't want to say control. I want to say you are in control of what grows inside of you. You're in control of your growth. That's the truth. You, and solely you. No one else is in charge of this. Only you are in charge of your growth. And I don't really think it's political ideas that'll help you grow. I don't think it's Bitcoin that's going to help you grow. I don't think it's where you post content is how you will grow. I think how you approach your emotional and spiritual well-being is how you grow. And if you're to take the active choice every day and every little moment to take the light pill, let's say, for example, you're watching the news and you're stressed and you're like worried about the world and you're upset and you're angry at somebody, you're angry at a world leader, you're angry at a politician. What if you took a moment to pause, literally pause the TV, or maybe even turn it off, turn down the volume, and take a breath, breathe in, and choose to take the light pill in that moment, and to say this to yourself: I'm okay right now. I'm calm right now. I choose to be calm right now, and I choose to focus on what's right in front of me. People want to say the world is all messed up, but how's your apartment looking? How's your bed looking? Have you made your bed today? Have you swept your floor yet? This is like OG Peterson stuff. Before Peterson fell off, Jordan Peterson used to say, clean up your room before you clean up the world. Okay? This is what the light pill is. The light pill is cleansing your heart, cleansing your emotional well-being and your spiritualness. Cleanse these things, align it, get it in order, and you will feel better about your life. And ultimately, this is a question of, are you putting yourself in a position to have your best pieces grow and thrive? That's the big question that you got to ask yourself. And maybe some people listening are not ready for that question right now, but I'll say it again. Are you putting yourself in a position to have your best pieces grow and thrive? Are you doing that? And you got to come to terms with that. And taking the light pill will allow you to do that. It will allow you to thrive. And so, I mean, I don't know how far this is going to go. This isn't some movement I'm starting, but like, this is something that I think is important. This is a big idea that I think needs to be spread. The light pill is important. And in my own life, I'll just be honest about my own life. My own light pill is exercise and meditation. When I go to the beach and I'm when I'm at Muscle Beach in Santa Monica and I'm like, I'm holding myself upside down on the rings. They got these Olympic rings. That's me swallowing my light pill. When I'm meeting up with friends and I'm running around and I'm playing soccer with them and I'm in the sand, I'm doing pull-ups, and I'm out in nature, like that's the light pill, and along with that, my creativity is my light pill. I'm editing videos on the side as like a side gig. This podcast requires a certain level of creativity. um, I'm designing images for my podcast and for other things, and that's creative. And I want to continue to build my creativity. I want to continue to give myself opportunities to be creative, because that is the best version of my life that I see for myself. The best version that I see for my life is to live a life of creativity. And I need to continue to make those small choices to be consistent within that creativity. I need to continue to make the choice to exercise, as much as I can, as much as I think is appropriate, and as much as I feel good about it. Um, when I meditate, meditating in the morning is a real light pill. That's a moment for me where I can choose to be calm and I can choose to practice to feel gratitude and peace. That's really interesting. Some days I feel like super like in flow with it, and other days I feel like it's a brick wall. But to continue to show up and to sit in front of my window with the morning sun coming in, I'm doing my best to take the light pill. And I guess I just want to share a little bit what's going on in my family's life. So my family 8 months ago, um, my dad died. We suffered a great loss within our family, and we're all very young. I'm just 28. I have two younger sisters who are in their early 20s, and I have a nephew who's 6, and I have a mother who's she's still very young, like she's 52 or something. Um, my mom is handling a lot. My mom is choosing her light pill through handling her new career. My mom just became a counselor, and she's getting more certifications to be like an even better counselor. Along with that, my mom's also handling the business that her and my dad started 20 plus years ago. Um, she's been like handling it. She like became the CEO of a company she didn't think she would have to be the CEO of, but she's choosing to move forward, and she's choosing to take on this responsibility and stress, and to somehow find a way to grow from it, and to focus on her own spirit, to focus on her own emotional well-being. And I see that. I can say that honestly. I really see that in my mom, and that inspires me to do that for myself. The middle sister, my sister who has the kid, she is raising her child. And within the last 8 months, I've only seen her become more motherly. And I think it's the motherly aspects of my sister that are the most bright. They're the most light, and I'm not trying to speak for her in any way, but you know, there's real joy when she's doing things with her kid. There's real happiness when she's doing things for her son. And of course it's stressful. Kids are stressful, but there's more life, like when you're engaging with life, when you're being present with life, like that's just so much more fulfilling. And I see that in my sister, and that inspires me. And in my youngest sister, she just had her birthday in January. She's focusing on what she's always been into. She's had a green thumb, so she's growing plants. She's a few months into growing a set of new plants, some rosemary, some tomatoes. What is it? I think I saw watermelon in her in her what's it called? Like a green box, or what do you call the little, like the garden, like a mini garden? And she's focusing on her health. When I went to visit Arizona, her and I went to the gym, and so she's interested in her fitness. And so she's making an active decision to do what brings her joy. And that is inspiring me to do that for myself as well. And what's so incredible is that I see my family doing their best to be the best versions of themselves, to be the healthiest and and just like the most capable versions of themselves. And that is their light pill. They are curious to be better. They're curious about their health. They're curious about their leadership. They're curious about their capabilities to hold on to responsibility. They're curious about these things, and they are open to growing. And I encourage you to be open to growing as well, because this is what's necessary for this moment in time. This is what's necessary for Earth right now. I don't mean to sound so serious, but like it is a serious thing. It is a serious thing. Like there's wars going on in the name of people's gods. There's wars going on in the name of greed. There's hate happening in the name of justification. We need to find a way as individuals to drop the hate and to drop the wars. And the only way to do that is if we as individual people take the light pill. Take the light pill. We need to. You need to. And it's a daily choice. It's an active daily choice. And so maybe I should stop preaching right now. That's really all I got. Like, that's really what it is. Like the light pill, it's you just making a better choice for yourself right now. That's all it is. Figure out what the best thing to do right now is and do that. That's the best thing. That's the light pill. And sometimes you won't make that choice, and that's okay. But if you're aware of that and you make an active effort to do that, then like you are aligning yourself with light. And so just continue on that path, my friend. Continue. And so that's all the value I got, man. Let's go into the value for value section, yeah? America Plus, this is a value for value show. What that means is I do my best to bring forward an important topic or conversation that I think the world should have. And I just try to engage with you. This is value for value. If you're receiving any value from this, I ask you to reciprocate that value. Just send that value back to me in the form of time, talent, treasure. If you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, retweet this, like this, subscribe, follow. That is valuable to me. Comment down below if you have anything to say about this idea. Another way is treasure. You can send me some money if you want to support me financially. I have a PayPal, and you can also download the Fountain.fm app.
Go to value4value.info for more info, then download the Fountain.fm app. It's the best way to support the show.
So Fountain is an app that you can send me small bits of Bitcoin to for my podcast. I think it's really cool. And I got one boostagram to say, or to share. This is coming in from last week. Last week I talked about DNA and God. I think we have a biological connection to God. So last week was wild. Only one person sent in a boostagram, and they said it's from our friend Pies. What up, Pies? He sends in 100 Satoshis. So thank you very much, Pies. And he has to say, value for value.
Boosting is loving.
Yes, sir.
Boost.
Thank you so much for that, Pies. And if you're tuning in right now, send me a boostagram right now. If you're in the modern podcasting apps, would love to see what you have to say. And you can download Fountain. You can send me a boostagram. You can follow me on Noster and send me a zap if you want to. That's just how I just think it's a fun way to engage with people. But if you want to just retweet me or comment something, go for it. I want to hear what you have to say about this topic because, I think it's relevant. And so if you think it's relevant, if you have something to say about this idea about being the best version of yourself and how it affects you and humanity, like chime in, please. Just chime in. What I want to do now, along with value for value, I always play a value for value song. And what that means is I do my best to find like a good song to play. This is in like the value for value verse. This is a website called Wavelake. Wavelake is a website that lets artists upload their music via RSS feeds and hook up a Bitcoin wallet to their song. And if you like the song, you can send the artist some money. And when I play a song within my podcast, I always give them 90% of your Satoshi donation. I give them a 90% split. So when I published this episode, this guy named Man Like Quex, he's a great artist. He's getting 90% of your Satoshi donation in Fountain or any modern podcast app. And the song is called Sela. And I just
we meet, my like who? That's who daddy is. After every show, I'm blowing you a kiss. Salah.
That's America Plus, bitch. Stay free. Boom. Bingo, 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 bongo. Nice, bro. Nice. Well, that's America Plus, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We got 12 people in right now, or 11, whatever it was. I think I tuned in by myself. Yeah, if you enjoyed that, thank you for hanging out with me. I'm here every Sunday. I'm live streaming every Sunday, same-ish time. I'll do my best. If I have work, then I might live stream a little later, but I want to do this around the same time, 4-ish, 5-ish, 6 o'clock-ish, maybe 5 o'clock is a good time. But yeah, man, thanks for tuning in.